Jimmerhan said this: "The important thing is not to be a millionaire, but to be a person who has no choice but to be a millionaire." Do you want to become a millionaire? All you need to do to become a millionaire are really simple things. But you will have to be completely different people from now on. Today, let's look at the 7 factors for success that successful master Brian Tracy says. The first is clarity. Clarity is my favorite word when it comes to business and success. I have been in charge of consulting for more than 1,000 large corporations such as General Motors Bank. In addition, there are facts that I learned while working with more than 10 small and medium-sized enterprises. That's why all the problems companies face arise when they don't have clarity about what to do or how to do it. Remember me, all problems come from the absence of clarity. The first thing you need to know is what your company's products are. Also, who are your customers? What makes your company better than other competitors? And what can you do to attract more customers? How will you turn new customers into regular customers? It's important to be clear enough to answer these questions right away. I once asked 50 people about successful businesses and how they manage their time. They preferred yellow memo pads as the best way to plan their day and write to-do lists. Working without these lists can be like driving a car down a winding mountain slope without a steering wheel. Various things happen in life. If you don't write down your to-dos, you'll end up doing unnecessary, unimportant and useless work. And you'll feel it at the end of the day. I did nothing, but it's hard. This doesn't apply to everyone, but it happens very often. Clarity is therefore very important. There are turning points in life. I write a book and cover the formula for success. I have written 86 books so far. I currently have 4 more books under contract. After that, 2 more books remain. That's right, I'm constantly putting out books. If a professional writer usually writes 1 book every 2 to 3 years, then up to 4 books a full year. People say that writing a book will make you rich. But you can't become rich by standing on 1 book. You have to write several books, but you can get rich. If the first book caught people's attention, the second book proved that the success of the first book was not a coincidence. And the third book made real money. And I'm going to do a 4th, 5th, 6th book. People ask, how can you write so many books? I answer like this. Like cooking in the kitchen, I have my own system. This system demands clarity. It should be clear what and who this book is about, and what the subject matter has not been seen anywhere else. Same with all of you. Goals should be clear. You may be able to take notes on your phone. But my research has shown that notes are remembered longer when they are written on paper. Here's a method I've taught more than 5 million people. When you write down a goal, you're actually writing an enemy now, as if you've achieved this goal. I live in a house of several square meters and the children have their own rooms. Everyone has a superconscious mind. This initiation ceremony has been talked about for 5,000 years. If you simply write your goal down on paper, your mind will subconsciously think of it for 24 hours and bring it into your life. You need to make your goal clear. You need to be clear. If it's not written on paper, nothing will happen. Please put it into practice as I teach you. The second is ability. How to succeed is simple. If you're very good at what you do, you can make a lot of money. So, the most important thing is to categorize your work by ability and pick the one skill you need most for success. Recruitment skills, training, technology, organizational management, and technical motivation skills are all important skills. But you don't have to be good at all of these skills. Think about what skills you need most to become a top 10 pro in your field. You don't have to be a pro. You only need to eat within 10%. None of those who are not good at their job are successful. People are very talented because they have been working in the field for a long time. Basically, in a study of the most successful people, they put in 4 hours more than the average person. It's something other people don't do. Don't try to be good at everything. Not only is it impossible, but it will be daunting, frustrating, and giving up. I was in business when I was in my 20s. Through the cold, I knocked on the door. I did 1 or 2 a week. At that time, I can tell you how much my entire fortune was in thousands of won. Because it was less than 1,000 won of my entire property. I woke up at 5 or 6 in the morning, after playing tennis until 8 o'clock. When people are open to the public, I knocked on the office door. And after uploading, I called the customer and called again. In the first year I made over 20,000 calls to close the trading sky. But I'm starting to have doubts. Why are you doing this or that? The answer lacked sell-in skills. I didn't let people make decisions. I was passionate and positive. I always said this at the end of every call, whatever the customer wants. I'll figure it out. Any other way agree? An afterthought means an eternal farewell. I've always heard this, so I made up my mind. After less deciding how to sell well, I started looking for all the information I could find. I traded at the touchpoint, and read everything until I arrived at a perfected technique, methodology. In 1 year, my re-imports increased tenfold and my life became more serious. At first I took note of how. Everyone is like that. But every skill in this world can be learned. Finally, he can realize and learn what others know. What is a good business? Is to help others. You are a good worker, and it is your lungs that people improve. Increase the workforce and strengthen family ties. Set yourself up as a clock tower. It's the customer's fault that it's clear to the customer how much their life can be improved and that the customer is getting advice. If you look closely at billionaires like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, you can see that they are improving people's quality of life. Their heads are full of such thoughts. Similarly, every attractive business customer has a demand for service. Set a goal first. Please tell us what you like and can improve the quality of life of others. And you have to put in the time to do it well. Counting is continuous. Criticism is the ability to focus on one task until it is completely done. You need to train yourself not to be distracted by email or notifications, ambient noise, or anything else. This is the ability to focus like a laser on a single task. This is critical as I haven't read the book I've been chewing on. When I get out of bed in the morning, the first thing I swallow is milk. Then you will have the pleasure of being the first to experience situations that may happen to you that day. It means to do the things you don't want to do first. It's a full list, and it's the most important thing to disclose. But there are probably things you really don't want to do. Finishing first is the key to success. So your weakness is to eat him. This simple concept has changed the lives of many people. The simple concept is to start with the things that are most valuable and important to you and write them down until you complete them. In practice, you will find that it is approximate. Now that you've set your goals and made a plan, you've set your priorities and started working on the most important tasks. This process requires a lot of effort if you are not trained. Everything will be inevitably natural at first. At first, you need to develop self-control. The best way to train yourself is to think of yourself as an athlete. People will call you a winner when the week starts to come first. The moment you recognize that you are a winner, your body pierces. Please write down the nature's happiness terms. Completing the added work can be optimal. And this happiness will be the driving force of my life. Through self-discipline, you feel a thrill every time you finish one important task in the order of priority. The fourth is the end. Satisfy the conditions that close the final consummation. From parking lot searches to online shopping, even the smallest bit can be limiting. What is the end goal of my ability to run maximally towards my goals? What are the limitations? I got this question. Let's take sales as an example. What is currently holding back your offer? What is the cause and what causes it? Assume that the limiting factor is daily encounters with attractive customers. An average day surveyor in the US spent an average of 90 minutes with a new long-term customer. So, an 8-hour day means you spend 1/5 of your day connecting with new customers. The method of doubling and loading verticals is very simple. And we all know the answer. It is to increase the exchange time from 90 minutes to 180 minutes. As Asians, we cannot control people's purchasing decisions. The more people you reach, the more people will sign up, buy, or become customers. Double your time with your customers. The second is sustainable probability and development. This part of your life is feedback. Take your breath away and keep showing me new things like it's delicious. Self-reliant and billionaires study their field for 60 to 90 minutes every day. Warren Buffett, one of the greatest people in history. Read 500 pages a day and read every single page for 8 hours each day. He's reading something. Partners always emphasize the same thing. He read and read again. Never pay attention to the radio. You won't know if the radio works in your car. Adept listening to audiobooks that motivate me. It's about penetrating motivation. Keep turning your mind back to new ideas. Pigmentation is a stain. Signs are really important. If you succeed without a pattern, you still have to wait until the effort is over. You show up in the morning and resolve in your heart that you are going to put in a few hours a day to make your business a success. No matter how long it takes. This is the last remaining container. There are two types of containers. The first container to start, the one that fails to start a new one and keeps it in denial. It is the courage to start out knowing that the odds of failure are very high. Shame will happen. You too will go through the process of darkening your self-esteem. It starts to become two containers. It is the force that keeps pushing and pulling you. Yes, I became a girlfriend whom I dated before marriage. She asked me what your greatest strength is. I said while thinking about recovery. My greatest strength is never giving up. She agreed. I never give up. My male never gives up. I always think. They make losses and try new things, but they never give up. You can see it like this. I can't meet any requirements that I don't have. The result that I can't give up is only success. You can see it like this. Today, we looked at the 7 factors that determine success. Always remember these 7 things. We will make your day one step closer to your success. Thank you. If this video was helpful, please like, subscribe, and set an alarm, and I will repay you with a better video.